Good morning. I hope you're all doing well. This is the 4th of July message for 2020. I want to just wish everyone a very happy 4th of July as we get to enjoy our freedom that we still have, even though there are powers trying to take much of that away from us, or at least experimenting to see how far they can go. I'm not going to get into the wearing of the mask or not wearing the mask. I'm not going to get into a lot of these false pretenses being put out about the statistics and things that are out there. Again, it is what it is. People are going to say what they're going to say, and certain ones and places do. But today, I'm thinking a lot about the Declaration of Independence. And I've been thinking about the 13 colonies that just had enough. And they had had enough of Britain's efforts to rule them, to confine them, to punish them, and frankly, they just had enough and decided to declare their independence, which they did in July 4th, 1776. And I'm going to get into that a little bit. But before I do, this morning, as I continued a study on a specific topic called prayer, I'm looking at John 16, verses 23 through 24. And in this it says, Jesus answered, "In that day you will no longer ask me anything. I tell you the truth. My Father will give you whatever you ask in my name. Until now you have not asked for anything in my name. Ask and you'll receive, and your joy will be complete." Jesus is foretelling his death and resurrection to the disciples. He's letting them know. I call this passage the no doubt passage. He's telling the disciples that they're soon going to be at a place where they're no longer going to doubt, who is this Jesus? The wondering and who is this guy and what is this guy is going to come to an end here real soon. He's going to die. He's letting them know they're going to be scattered. They're going to go through 3 days of just turmoil in their hearts and minds. They're going to go through 3 days of great sorrow as they watch the undeserved death of the Savior of the world. And they're going to see so much happen that's going to have so much emotion and so much of who they are. They're going to go back, they're going to remember the many miracles and the many times with him. Many of them will remember the private times with him, where they were just sitting with him and just being with him, and the peaceful presence of the Savior of the world. And yet, he tells them that your joy will be complete when they ask in his name, because they're going to see the power that he told them about many times and tried to prepare them for as best he could, which he did. And we're even going to see, we're going to see one man turn away and deny him 3 times, who was like the right-hand man, supposedly, of Christ, who does end up being the beginnings of the church, kind of taking the place, the mantle of the leadership of the church. And we're going to see others who, as soon as the fire got hot, they ran, But yet, all 12 of these men suffered and died on behalf of the kingdom that he brought to this earth. So, we need to approach as Christians in this time with the coronavirus scares and the different things going on, the upcoming election and the turmoil you see, the blatant attacks, and whether it's true or not. People in the media keep promoting lies, and I just hope people are sensible to take their time and do their own research. When someone says something to look into, is what they're saying really true? I found many of these reports on the coronavirus to have a great deal of ridicule coming from people who are in a position to know. And not so much ridicule, but just disagreement, saying these numbers don't add up. So we'll have to wait and see. We have this apparently spread of the virus, and yet the death rate keeps coming down, and it's not tricking up. Now, again, with these newer outbreaks, time will tell. We'll see what happens. But there's already a ton of information coming out from what they originally did and how the numbers were off. So I'm just not sure. Now, as a good American citizen and as requested, I have a mask with me wherever I go. If I need to put it on, I certainly do. But if I don't feel I need to put it on, I won't. But now they're saying they're going to start fining us for not putting it on. So if I ever get fined, that should be an interesting fight. I would intend on taking it to the Supreme Court, because I do believe the mandatory requirement for masks is unconstitutional. I've always been a constitutionalist, and I will continue to be a constitutionalist. And if need be, I pray to God it doesn't come to this, but if I have to stand up and physically defend it, I will. It won't be a hesitation. As a matter of fact, I'd like to read a portion of the Declaration of Independence this morning, and I'll give you a little information on the guys that wrote this. Where in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that it should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles, organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. I almost kind of feel like we need to do that again at times. But this document, written by so many good men, decent men, intelligent, reasonable men, who got to a point where they unanimously agreed that the United States of America should declare its independence from Britain. At that time, 13 colonies. You would do well today to spend some time and look at the names of the people that did it. The men from Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Delaware, New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. They didn't all have the same view in mind of this, but they all agreed on one thing. Enough is enough. Enough was enough. It's kind of coming to that now. These people running around destroying statues. These people running around every time declaring discrimination in places there really isn't discrimination going on. And these people running around trying to say that we need a new form of government. While they have a right to say that, and they're certainly free to do so, they are scared to death of the silent majority that's not saying anything right now. But the silent majority is starting to speak up. And the silent majority will truly speak up, I believe, in November. And while the media, who seems to be in the back pocket of these people and these other people and American corporations and people in high positions of power in the government, seem to just be doing homage to this minority of people who are declaring for, I guess I can't really call it anything more than communism and / socialism. And then when you ask them what it is, they can't define it, they can't explain it, but they certainly want to fight for it. And they're willing to be violent now. It's just amazing. But I go back to this verse and I remember Jesus said that we would have no doubt. I look at this as an opportunity to declare peace among people. I don't wish ill will to people that disagree with me. Most people that disagree with me, well, many that are most vocal when I try to talk to them and I lay out a reasonable argument, they run. They're really cowards. They will just defriend me, or they'll just say, we can't talk about this. Why? I've always been able to talk to people on opposite sides of the spectrum, and most have complimented me for my willingness to accept and give them an opportunity to speak. Doesn't mean I'm going to agree with them every time. Some things I might agree with, some things I might not. It's been good for me. It's challenged me to think about some things differently. But what's going on today is a no-brainer, in my opinion. The violence, attacking of people, attacking people's lifestyles. No, it's wrong. Yet it's what we see every day plastered on the thing. If it's not some racial discrimination and some police brutality thing, it then becomes back to the coronavirus. Oh, it's spreading again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a virus, and viruses spread, and it's not the first, and it won't be the last. And I'm still puzzled why this time it's been such a big issue. But at the same time, I realize people have died. And I know of people who have died of this virus myself, acquaintances, personal friends. But at the same time, I know many who've died of the flu. So, and then it's almost like there's a pseudoscience out there. Let's look at the full picture before we make these decisions, governors. Yet, at the same time in our state, we're back to wearing masks outside. And word is there's a $100 fine if you're caught without one. Okay. That doesn't lead American citizens to police one another. So it's not okay. But we'll wait and see how everything works out. The Lord is in control, as Jesus said. And as a follower and disciple of Jesus Christ, I am confident that this is all going to land in a good place, especially for the kingdom of heaven. And if you're a Christian today seeing this video, it's time for you to step up. Bring God into these situations. What does God want? He doesn't want us going out and taking on a protester. He doesn't want us getting into fisticuffs with people. There's a part of me that would have no problem with that. I honestly admit that's why I'm in a cell group, and I'm going to get reproved. But nonetheless, that's good. I need that. But today, as I look at what Jesus said to the disciples, I believe God can work all things together for good, and this is going to end up in a good place for our country, for the world. And I hope that if you've never trusted Jesus Christ, take time to consider that. Consider the claims that he was the Savior of the world. Because you see, after he told the disciples here and he talked to them about this, they watched him die. They saw him terribly tortured and he died. Then, 3 days later, they talked with him. They saw his scars and the hole in his side. They had breakfast with him. And they watched his ascension. Not just them, but over 500 people watched him ascend into heaven. There are those who attack this story and have attacked it for years. But the evidence has come forward and it's there. Just like some of these treatments that they keep rejecting. The evidence is there that they do work. They do keep people from dying. I think that's a good thing. It should be an option. It should be an open option to everybody, available to anyone. But the fact of the matter is, it all comes down to a personal decision, doesn't it? So what have you done with this guy, Jesus? What have you done? Have you reconciled who Jesus is? Have you cleared any doubt of the Savior? Why not today? Why not today be the day that you step into the place of no doubt? God will answer, and he will answer clearly and at the right time. I wish you all a very happy 4th of July and hope you have a wonderful day with family and friends, whatever it is you have to do. Our plans are kind of up in the air a little bit, but at the same time, the grill will be working, and the new grill will be working, and it'll be our celebration for the end of a wonderful vacation we've been able to have. And I hope to everyone, may God bless you, and may God bless America. Have a great day, everybody.